Howard Lutnick and the transcript the public still can't read.
Vlogging pod starts like a conversation. Cup of coffee with no destination. Just voices trying to understand what's happening across this land. From your stories told to the pages turned. Every question, every word, supported by SheSharesStudios.net.
Hello, and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Today, we're going to talk about the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick. Now, his past comments about Jeffrey Epstein and the closed-door congressional interview that followed. Earlier this year, Howard Lutnick publicly discussed his interactions with Jeffrey Epstein during a podcast interview. In that interview, Lutnick described an uncomfortable encounter involving Epstein and a massage table. And he said that after that moment, he and his wife decided he would never again be alone in a room with Epstein. But after the Department of Justice released additional Epstein-related materials, questions began surfacing about whether Lutnick's public version of events matched records showing continued contact with Epstein years later, including reporting meetings and a 2012 visit to Epstein's private island after Epstein's 2008 conviction. Because of those contradictions, Lutnick was called before the House Committee on the Oversight and Government Reform, often referred to simply as the House Oversight Committee. On May 6, 2026, Lutnick appeared before the committee in a closed-door transcribed interview tied to the committee's Epstein investigation. Now, this was not a public hearing. There was no public cameras, no public live stream, no public video release. Instead, lawmakers questioned Lutnick behind closed doors while a written transcript was created. According to reporting afterward, Lutnick answered nearly 400 questions during the session. And reports stated that the transcript was expected to be released later. Now, as of this recording, that the transcript has not publicly been released. So right now, Americans are left relying on comments made afterwards by the House members who were inside the room. And those comments, well, they're explosive. Before I get started, first, please forgive me on pronunciations because I am sure that I will misrepresent the names. Representative Ro Khanna of California said afterward, quote, "If you saw the exchanges that my colleagues had with him, you would see he made a farce of the English language." Khanna later added, quote, "Now we know why that interview was not videotaped. If Donald Trump had seen the video transcript, he would have fired Howard Lutnick. It was just contortions and lies. He made a farce of the English language." Also, he quoted, "This raises a question of what the cover-up is." Representative Yasamin Asari of Arizona quoted saying, "After we have seen so far in this transcribed interview, I feel very comfortable saying that Howard Lutnick is a pathological liar who is enabling the most erroneous cover-up in American history." Egregious cover-up in history. According to reporting, Asari also accused Lutnick of trying to describe his interactions with Epstein as meaningless and inconsequential. Representative Sahaya Sabrani of Virginia said, quote, "Howard Lutnick should resign." He later added, quote, "That was absolutely mind-blowing. What we just heard in the room, he was evasive, nervous, and dishonest." He also described repeated questioning around Lutnick's reported visit to Epstein's island, saying, quote, "We asked him over and over again, why did you go to the island? He says he doesn't remember. That's it. Inexplicable, and he simply don't know how to answer the question." He continued saying, quote, "He was evasive, nervous, he was dishonest, he would not admit to lying, which he clearly did." He also criticized the lack of public transparency, saying, quote, "It's outrageous that we're not putting these on camera." Representative James Walkinshaw of Virginia also criticized the closed-door nature of the interview. Walkinshaw said, quote, "He's lying, and today's transcribed interview is part of the ongoing cover-up because the American people deserve to see the video of what's taking place in there." He then added, quote, "They deserve to see the sweat on the secretary's brow as he struggles to answer basic questions about his lies to the American people." But reactions from Republicans sounded very different. House Oversight Chairman James Comer of Kentucky defended the process and defended the decision not to publicly videotape the session. Comer said, quote, "We're really sincerely trying to get the truth. Our goal is to provide justice for the victims, and hopefully today it will be helpful." He also said, quote, "At the end of the day, the transcript's the most important thing." Comer also made it clear that the false statements of the Congress could carry consequences. Comer stated, quote, "If we find that there were any misstatements by Mr. Lutnick, it's a felony to lie to Congress, and he'll be held accountable." And while Democrats focus heavy on alleged dishonesty and transparency concerns, the Commerce Department defended Lutnick afterward. A Commerce Department spokesperson stated that Lutnick answered nearly 400 questions voluntarily and that the interview ended only after lawmakers said they had no additional questions. The spokesperson also argued that 3 encounters with Epstein did not constitute a relationship. So at this point, because the transcripts itself still have not been publicly released, Americans are left trying to piece together what happened inside the room based on statements from lawmakers, reporters, and official spokespeople after. And regardless of political party, that raises a large question about transparency. If a cabinet-level official sits before Congress for nearly 400 questions connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and lawmakers walk out making accusations that this serious, should the public be allowed to read the transcript for themselves? Today's sources come from CBS News, Howard Lutnick, Epstein Deposition, House Oversight Committee. The Guardian, Howard Lutnick, Jeffrey Epstein, Congress. AP News, Trump Administration News Update. Washington Post, Lutnick testifies before Congressional Panel Investigation. Spectrum Local News, Howard Lutnick voluntarily transcribed Deposition House Oversight Committee Jeffrey Epstein investigation. TRTworld.com article 6A, 4A, 5A, 154C3. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye for now.